And we welcome you back to Plainsman Park. It's time for women's soccer on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. After an exciting 1-1 draw, 89th minute goal for Yi Yun Yao to get the Plainsmen equal with WNCC. The Plains women and the Cougars will do battle. Plainswomen a hard loss yesterday to Laramie County 4-0. But they have put together, have the Northeastern Junior College Plainswomen 6 points already inside conference season with the 2 wins last weekend, including the exciting victory in the 4-3 game on Saturday. Plainswomen will have the opening possession of the game. Black uniforms going from our right to our left. Cougars in their whites with the Navy letters and numbers. Hannah Flores between the pipes for the Northeastern Plainswomen. She will garner the start today, but both she and Ashlyn Godfrey played yesterday. I expect both to play today. For WNCC, it's Rory Weisniger that is in the pipe. She is from Greeley, Colorado. There's only 4 sophomores on this team for the WNCC Cougars, so a lot of young faces on their roster, whereas NJC has about half their roster returning from last season. Ball rolls into the 18, and the green-clad goalkeeper Hannah Flores will scoop it up. As the starting lineup for the Northeastern Plainswomen is brought to you by Northeastern, njc.edu for all your educational needs. They will take care of you from plains to possibilities. Hannah Flores in goal. Luna Dominguez, Aaliyah Dukes, Marseille Edwards, Savannah Thompson, Carla Moreno-Pacheco, Addison Johnson, Triz Chavez, Lali Rascon-Braun, Felicity Shelton, and Calissa Wyke. The 11 that are on the pitch for the Plainswomen. Rory Weisniger, the goalkeeper for WNCC. Lillian Schneidel, Alisa Lashley, Adriana Rodriguez, Julia Santos, Nia Trevino, Marion Russell, Camilla Emmanuel da Silva, Irene Romero Molina, Candela Martin, and Tanner Nelson are their starting 11. For the Northeastern Junior College Plainswomen, they will see if they can't get that early edge in this game. The Plainswomen hoping to be able to play from in front, which they didn't do much last weekend against Otero. See if second day in a row of playing in this one, maybe you can't give yourself a little bit of a mental reprieve from having to play the challenge from behind. Plainswomen with a cross in, saved by Weisniger. Nice take into the box off the far side for the Northeastern Plainswomen, and then the ball is taken away. It was Moreno-Pacheco that put the cross in. Ball gets loose. Shot fired wide of the goal for Savannah Thompson. Thompson will end up running the ball as it's booted out to the near corner down. High cross out up top is Aaliyah Dukes, one of the captain band players, along with Trish Chavez, who's wearing that orange captain's band as well. Rolled forward for the Plainswomen and Luna Dominguez. She lost one across into the 18. Ball bounces in before before Moreno-Pacheco can get there. Luna's pass is collected by Weisniger. Boot out off the goal, quickly collected by the captains, and Trish Chavez trying to work herself forward. Cougars footed up to Adriana Rodriguez, the freshman from Scotts Bluff, but Rodriguez gets it taken off her foot by Rascon-Braun. Trish Chavez threads it forward, and chasing near side is Savannah Thompson from South Dakota, and the ball's booted out on the end line. Irene Romero Molina, the Spanish freshman, collecting out of that middle back. Schneidel, the freshman from Greeley, is that right back as she gets herself into position defensively now. Moreno-Pacheco hits a cross across the far side, but nobody bending down. Cougars looking to chase it, but Aaliyah Dukes, hard work. And then Luna Dominguez getting there. Dominguez maybe cramping as she came up with it. Comes up a little lame, grabbing at a hamstring. Ball pushed forward for the WNCC Cougars, and Trish Chavez ripping the ball out on the far side. Tanner Nelson, the sophomore from Loveland, trying to thread it through to Adriana Rodriguez. Out at the 18, or out at the midfield stripe. Cougars try a boot toward the 18, but the Plainsmen quickly calm it down. Dukes hits a cross, but nobody there to be able to run it down. About 5 minutes into this contest, scoreless between NJC and WNCC. Through ball to the near side to Savannah Thompson. She steps to the left, hits a bender far side. Defender heads it back toward her as it didn't get all the way through to Moreno Pacheco. It goes out on the near touchline.
33, man, can you back up a little bit?
Throw in. Backed up. The Cougars will take it through on the field. Marion Russell trying to run it through. Good defense for NJC from Addison Johnson. Forces it off to Julia Santos. Santos through ball rolls in and an easy scoop up for Flores as Tanner Nelson could not quite get to that ball as it was out of her range. Plainsmen on the ground, then boot up over the top. Cougars repossess on that boot over the top. Emmanuel de Souza. Try to work it far touchline for Western Nebraska. Ball back off. And the Plainsmen will take it away. Footed toward the far side. And it's out off of Western Nebraska. Our first half on the Eastern Plains Sports Network is brought to you by Stubbs. Sports fan, when you're traveling, you need that one stop that has it all. I-76, exit 66A. Stop by at Stubbs. Reversal of field comes toward the near side. Cougar defense knocks it back out. They were looking for Dukes, trying to get her free. 1v the goalkeeper. All booted down into the far corner where Western Nebraska will possess it and then upon pressed, roll it out. Throw in. Ball knocked down. And a corner kick produced for the Northeastern Plainswomen with the pressure from Luna Dominguez. So Dominguez will get the corner that she created. Set up for an outswinger on the far side. The Plainsmen look to strike first. Dominguez gets the boot into it, spins up, header by Trish Chavez, wide left of the goal. Already the third offensive opportunity for NJC. Only one has been turned on frame. It's cooled down a little bit for the start of this women's game from where we were at the start of the men's game. We were mid-80s by halftime. It's back toward 80, and the breeze picking up a little bit as the cloud cover comes in on this Saturday afternoon in Sterling. Plainsmen take the ball away near the center stripe. They've controlled the possession in the early stage of this game. 10-ish minutes in, and we remain scoreless. Cougars with the throw in, but then trying to work far side, lose it out. And Marseille Edwards, who was the hero in producing the equalizer and then the game winner last Saturday against Otero, she'll take the throw. Plainsmen are a club that has players that can play both defense and offense. We get a foul on NJC and a scrum for the ball in the middle. I think just one of those situations for the Northeastern Plainswomen where you try to keep everybody fresh with the lessons you learned last year, even though you have a lot more players on the roster this year. Playing last year, sometimes with 14, 13 total players available, you're going to create some chances for people. Ball sailed out of the far corner across, out of the range of Edwards. She'll trace it down on the near side and roll it back out. Aaliyah Dukes will have it. Edwards turns. She crosses it in. Ball bounces past a defender and a plainswoman. Calmed down near the top of the 18. Shot fired in by Felicity Shelton and saved by Weisniger. Weisniger's second save of the game. Her throw out to the center stripe, possessed for NJC and booted back up, trying to get into the offensive push once again are the plainswomen. Ball dribbled through in a quick sprint far side for Marseille Edwards. Edwards working the right touch line. Does not have the service across, so she short touches it instead. The ball goes out far side, and we have a Cougar player down. That I believe is Candela Martin, the freshman from Spain, who is downed in the midst of that push. Plainswomen 2-2 with their loss last weekend. Lost to Cochise to open the season, and then won 2 in a row, and then lost yesterday. So overall 2-2, but more importantly in conference for them, 2-1 in the 6 points. I was talking with Caitlin Waller, the assistant coach for Coach Burton, and about that, mindset of how many points we need to earn to get in, because the plainswoman team wasn't even close last year with the lack of numbers. And you do some of those studies and you kind of know that if you can come up with 13, 14 points, you're probably going to get yourself in. And 17 was a host position last year, so that's 5 wins, 2 draws. Plainswomen try to work it through for Aaliyah Dukes, and the ball's cleared out and sails to the near touchline. Subs at the line for the plainswomen for the first time in this game. 14 minutes in. Plainswomen will get Valerie Chavez on, the freshman from Idaho, in that defensive position. And also checking in is Trinity Moreland, the freshman from Brighton. Or Chavez is midfield, wrong side of the field. Emmanuel De Souza takes the ball away for WNCC, rolls it onto the foot of Julia Santos. She puts it over to the near side. Rodriguez trying to chase it down, but Trish Chavez there with her, and to allow the defense to take shape, she rolls it out on the near touchline. Plainswomen and Cougars scoreless in this first half. The defense has been the key for NJC this season. The ball bangs around and rolled in off a plainswoman defender after a blocked shot, and Hannah Flores will scoop it up. Last weekend against Otero, NJC's defense started well. They scored first, and then 15 seconds later gave up the equalizer, got in front, and they had the lead at halftime, but then kind of got caught napping in the second half, and that's when they found themselves down and had to come back against Otero. Cougars take the ball away from Schneidel. It's about, especially in the women's game at this Region 9 level, it's about that possession battle. Men's side, maybe not so much. We saw it in the men's game. WNCC dominated the possession battle in the first half, but only took 1 shot. Plainswomen battling through the middle of the field. Aaliyah Dukes will step up. 30 yards out, Dukes works back toward the middle and finds Carla Moreno Pacheco. She tries to push it into the far corner to Moreland, but Moreland was deflected by a defender, and the ball never got through to her. Emmanuel De Souza for WNCC, turning the other way. Contact between Moreno Pacheco and Marion Russell, the sophomore from Scotts Bluff. One of the returners. Ball gets loose, free, forward. Ball booted up high. Hard work for Savannah Thompson between 2 Cougar defenders, and forces the ball to roll all the way in on Rory Reisniger, the goalkeeper. Weisniger rolls it onto the far side, not putting the boot in, much like the men's team trying to possess it, are the WNCC Cougars. Ball ripped far side forward. Valerie Chavez, the intended target, too high on the pass from Addison Johnson. Seventeenth minute of this first half, 0-0 our tally. Johnson takes the ball in the midfield area, gets it forward to Moreno Pacheco, rolls it through to Thompson on the near side. Left foot from Thompson sails just high of the goal, but a nice take for Savannah Thompson. Already her second shot of the game. The Plainsmen out shooting the Cougars 5-0 through the first portion of this Region 9 women's soccer contest. Goal kick rolled far side as the Cougars will try and dribble it forward. Much like the men's game, we talked about the exhaustion from playing a second game in as many days. Plainsmen look fresh right now. Cougars definitely look a tick flat. Moreno Pacheco running past a couple of defenders. Tries to work back to her left. Ends up on the pitch as I think she tripped up over the top of the ball that was stomped by the defense for WNCC. Cougars try to work it forward. Ball dislodged by Nelson. She boots it up high, and Trish Chavez fires it down toward the far corner. It will go out on the end line. No, it won't. It's saved and worked back across to Nelson. Ball cleared up for the Plainsmen. Back 30 yards out. Schneidel takes it for the Cougars. Schneidel onto the foot of Russell. Russell rolls it far side left in, and saved by Hannah Flores. It will be the first shot on goal in the game and lead to a corner as she saved it out off the right post. Julia Santos, the one that took that shot, floating it up and in. It's a far side corner for Western Nebraska Community College that'll be put into play by Camilla Emmanuel de Souza. So each side has a corner. Plainsmen produced a chance, but not a shot on off their corner. Manuel de Souza working to bend it in with the right foot. She boots it high out toward the top of the 18 and a header high of the goal for Julia Santos. So Santos produces a pair of shots in that exchange, neither of which go on, though. Plainsmen had outshot them 5-0, and the boot comes forward and bounces toward the midfield line. Out off the Plainsmen, so a Cougar throw with Schneidel. Header for Moreno Pacheco, and it goes out on the touchline. Good 30 yards of real estate collected by WNCC on that throwdown and header. First chances offensively for WNCC, 20 minutes in. Plainsmen defense being tested for the first time. This is where we'll see what this team is made of. Hard to play defense so consistently 2 days in a row, especially when you were wore down by a team the caliber of Laramie County yesterday. Shot in, ball punched out of the near corner by Hannah Flores. Good save on the cross. Cougars still possess it. Candela Martin gets it taken away by Aaliyah Dukes. Dukes embracing the physicality of the defense. Plainsmen headed up. Moreno Pacheco serves it forward. Two Plainsmen players giving chase. Cougar defense forced to roll it all the way back. Irene Romero Molina didn't have an angle. Goalkeeper gives it up, though. Ball gets free onto the near side. And the pick back up is Aaliyah Dukes. Dukes crosses it in. And taken away for Western Nebraska as the wind picks back up with the storm-ish moving in. Doesn't look like much of anything, but we did mention probably 4:30 there was some rain in the forecast earlier today. Goal kick boot back out toward the midfield stripe where WNCC will run it down with Camilla Emmanuel de Souza. Trinity Moreland dislodges the ball, backs it back out to Felicity Shelton, who flips it forward, but too high of her intended target in Val Chavez. Cougars push it in and chip it up. Ball booted up high, sprint forward. Offside was WNCC. So we saw 13 fouls either way on the men's game earlier today. A 1-1 draw between Northeastern and Western Nebraska, featuring an 89th minute equalizing goal from Guillaume Yao. Only seen one foul in this game so far, and we have played ourselves about 23 minutes. Halfway through the first half. Ball fettered in for the Plainswomen by Addison Johnson, blocked by the defense. Clear out, knocked down by Johnson, then a big boot over the top from Emmanuel de Souza. WNCC, from what I gathered, is down a player today because of a double yellow situation yesterday. Seemed to be producing themselves some good opportunities in the middle portion of this first half. We remain scoreless. A deep throw for Western Nebraska. Plainswomen try to form shape defensively. Quick toss in off a foot and given back to Schneidel. Schneidel rolls it into Santos, who has the two shots on. That shot headed by a defender as it bent in. Kept up for WNCC and then taken away for the Plainswomen. Emmanuel de Souza hits a floater that bounces in and saved by Flores. That was a tough one. She purposely got some backspin on that to try and give the goalkeeper some issues when it bounced on. And good work by Flores to recognize that spin and smother it. All booted out at the midfield stripe for the Cougars. That will allow the Plainswomen to make a sub. Allie Marling, who was issued a yellow card in yesterday's game, in for her first action today. Marling knocks the ball down off the throw to Addison Johnson. Pushes it near side for Aaliyah Dukes. Dukes having trouble calming it down. Has to push it back to Johnson near the center stripe. And then back to Triz Chavez. Triz. Through ball doesn't get through to Aaliyah Dukes, but it goes out off a Cougar defender. Schneidel slowing it down, allowing the rest of her defenders to get into position. Aisha Lashley now working center back after she began the game left back. Plainswomen foul on a convergence for the ball that ultimately produced Candela Martin to be laying on the ground. 0-0 our score on our scoreboard, made possible by Carpet Comfort Center, the largest selection of flooring in eastern Colorado. At Carpet Comfort Center in the Broadway Plaza Shopping Center in Sterling. Cougars knock it down. Tanner Nelson to the far side. Pushed back in to Santos. Santos, ball knocked off her foot. Defense fighting, gets it away. Nia Trevino trying to save it. Good zigging and zagging and dribbling through for the Plainswomen. Marseille Edwards working forward. Pushes it to her left in Savannah Thompson. Thompson to the left side of the 18. Spins one in and it bounces in. Gobbled up by Weisniger. Good work by Thompson to create an offensive opportunity after the speedy Edwards just sprinted through the heart of that Cougar defense. Ball out near the midfield stripe, taken off the foot of Rodriguez by Triz Chavez. Triz working all the way on the left touchline, doesn't have service across. She turns with the right and finds that service across. Header for the Cougars, wide right of the goal, will produce the second Plainswoman corner of this afternoon's contest. Cougars have a couple bodies at the line. Next opportunity they're afforded entry. Won't be here as Savannah Thompson is taking that corner on the far side. Thompson, quick start. Pushed it out to Moreland. Moreland tried to run it in. It's tackled out on the far side by Nia Trevino. Plainsman quick start in instead of trying to work it into the box. They're just opting to possess it here again and maybe wear on the psyche a bit of the Cougars and possess the ball a tick after not really having a good amount of possession for the last little bit. High ball sails across for the Plainsmen. Aaliyah Dukes looking to give chase, but could not run down the ball, and that will afford the Western Nebraska subs to come on. Sydney Regional Medical Center doesn't want you to let that injury keep you out of the game. SydneyRMC.com for more information. WNCC bringing on Merit Shastratit, the freshman from Netherlands. I know I didn't pronounce her name right. That's a lot of consonants and not enough vowels. Ryan Seacrest needs to be here to allow me to buy a few. Far side. Cougars off the goal kick, trying to run it through. Santos gets it taken off her foot. Good work there by Rascon Braun, but then her pass too hot to handle for Moreno Pacheco. Ball booted far side, run down by Nia Trevino. Trevino had it forced out off her by Marce Edwards in that right back defensive position. Quick toss in. Marce Edwards going to try and create that speed through the defense again, and the forecheck takes it away in Santos. Santos to the left of the goal with the right, looking to cross it in. Taken off her foot by Rascon Braun. As it Lally rolls it forward, looking, and finds the foot of Trinity Moreland. Moreland banging it forward off a Cougar out near the center stripe. We remain scoreless. And Moreland will take a seat as the Plainsmen sub in Lucy Clark, the Scottish sophomore. Clark tosses it in. Marce Edwards boots it forward. And these early subs, I understand we're about, 29 minutes in. These early subs are earlier than you typically see them from Joshua Burton. So the Plainsmen take it away. Ball tried to be worked through and forward far side to Savannah Thompson. Knocked down Moreno Pacheco. Into the corner, Moreno Pacheco stops and looks to short serve it across, and it's ripped off a defender by Valerie Chavez and out on the far side. These early subs are indicative of a second game in as many days to try and ensure you don't get tired by the final 30, where this game likely will be decided, if history is any indicator, between NJC and WNCC. Ball goes out on the end line, so another corner earned for the Plainsmen, their third corner of half number one. Savannah Thompson will be the one taking the corner, this time setting up for an in-swinging service, although she just quick restarted and sprinting toward it, and they will go to Trish Chavez as she brings it in, tried to turn it toward goal, but fired it way wide right of the goal. Western Nebraska, after subbing out Tanner Nelson, will bring her back on. Maybe 5 minutes of respite for her at most as she replaces Nina Trevino. Cougars trying to do the same thing. They traveled, of course, yesterday in Lamar, so you have the additional factor of travel that plays in these road trips. And a shorter road trip, Lamar Sterling, is far easier than Canada, Montana, or whatever that Northwest Central trip is. Dribbled down by Aaliyah Dukes as she took the ball away. Savannah Thompson pushes it toward the far line and funneled out by Western Nebraska. But Western Nebraska last touched it. Center official points to the corner. It'll be another NJC corner. Trish Chavez taking the corner. First corner not taken by Savannah Thompson of the four that the Plainsmen have had. Take it off the near side and set up to put the right into it, which would bend it toward the goal. Plainsmen have all their bodies. Upper edge of the 18 now converging on the goal as the kick puts in. Sails up high, knocked down by the defense. Gets free. Aaliyah Dukes tries to roll it in. Ball ping-pongs on some bodies. Finally gets through and banging it into the back of the net. Allie Marling with the goal, assisted for the Northeastern Plainswomen by Valerie Chavez. And NJC puts it into the back of the net 2/3 of the way through the first half. The goal for NJC, it's 32nd minute by my unofficial tally, is Allie Marling off of a corner, successful corner, the fourth of the game, produced it far side and assisted by Valerie Chavez, who put the through ball in, and Marling put the foot on it. So the Plainswomen lead 1-0. Plainswomen looking to get their 7th, 8th, and 9th points with a win here at home. One more home game to go next Saturday at 11 a.m. for the Plainswomen as they take on Western Wyoming, and we'll be here for coverage of that because pending results for Western Wyoming this weekend, that could be a battle of teams potentially vying for a home game. Well, definitely vying for a home game, potentially vying for a bye inside Region 9 soccer. Of course, you have to let all the results play through as early as we are into the season. It's hard to really kind of create tiers right now, but one would presume Laramie County Community College, Casper, Western Wyoming are top three. They are virtually every year. And then the Plainswomen, by virtue of the 6 points last weekend, if you get to 9 here, you're definitely going to be in the top three going into next weekend as well. So, really like where this Plainswomen team is, especially considering they finished next to last season. Good turnaround by Coach Joshua Burton, and these ladies, several of them as the ball's cleared out far side, that were here last year. Aaliyah Dukes, I don't know that Aaliyah Dukes ever sat down last year. She played virtually the entire season. Trish Chavez was out with an injury last year, so you knew you had to do some work for her to come in and play, and ball goes out on the end line. It'll be a Northeastern goal kick for Hannah Flores. Flores puts the boot in, 1-0 NJC. 34th minute. Aaliyah Dukes running down on the near side. She picks it up, steps through a defender. Dukes to the top of the 18, bends one far side over the head of a defender, swallowed up by Weisniger. Her fourth save of the game. Plainswomen have taken 9 shots, put 5 of them on goal so far. The goal scorer, Allie Marling, knocks down the goal kick. Big boot just to the left of the goal. Moreno Pacheco from 35 yards out said, I got the leg for this, and rifled it toward the upper left corner of the goal. It's her second shot of the game. Weisniger starts it off with the goal kick. Ball taken away for the Plainswomen and off the foot as it came on the cross. Hard work on the far side for NJC produces another corner. Trish Chavez, who succeeded on the last corner to put NJC up 1-0, will come to the near corner and put this one into play once again. Chavez carried everybody's head to produce that corner. Expect her to put another bid there as the wind has died down. She should be able to get it underneath here, and she does. Goalkeeper doesn't even get through. 2 Cougar players converged off ahead of a Cougar player, and I believe the force of the corner put the head of said Cougar defender off the shoulder of her fellow defender. Trainer has yet to be asked on. Lashley, the freshman from Anguilla, was the one that the defender collided with. Actually, that's not a defender. That's an offensive player. That's Julia Santos, who will be helped up here, and she'll remain on the pitch. So a second corner for the Northeastern Plainswomen. Out of this foray from Triz Chavez. Triz lofts one up, headed by the Plainswoman, falls onto a foot and a soft roll, trots in, and easily saved on the shot from Val Chavez. Chavez had the assist on the goal. That's 5 saves in the game from Weisniger, and Chavez is the one that produced that exchange with her aggressive play earlier. Marseille Edwards turns the ball over in the middle third of the field. Cougars knock it down, and Nelson tries to loft it forward. Successfully finds the foot of Adriana Rodriguez. Down in the corner, Rodriguez rolls it to Audrey Gosvener. And Gosvener lost it out on the inline and leads to a Northeastern goal kick. .38th minute, about 7 minutes to go in this first half. Plainswomen lead 1-0. Our scoreboard brought to you by Better Electric, covering all your electric work, residential, commercial, agricultural. Better does matter, 970-521-1030. Goal kick goes out on the far side, so WNCC with the throw, still possessing it in their offensive end. Served in, Santos knocks it down. Santos is still worse for wear from that exchange on the first of the 2 corner kicks. Still walking about slightly dazed. Goal kick will be put into play for Hannah Flores. Flores boots in near side, and Aaliyah Dukes will come up and knock it down. She spins to her left and works with the defender on her right hip. Forward through to Savannah Thompson. Ball goes out off of WNCC. Dukes with the throw tossed in, comes to Addison Johnson. Dukes tried to cross it fully across, and it just kind of spins harmlessly into the 18 where it's swallowed up by Weisniger. Weisniger rolls it off. Plainswomen trying to dislodge it with the goal scorer, Allie Marling. Ball kept in play, but a pass short, and Aaliyah Dukes puts a high boot forward. Ball cobbles off a Cougar defender, header far side, and WNCC has the numbers on that far side of the pitch to possess it. Gosvener dribbling across the middle. She's trying to force it down into the corner, and she will. A through ball down to Schneidel. Schneidel stopped, though. Aaliyah Dukes didn't have the angle on her. Schneidel tried to turn it back to the near side. She'll get a throw, but you got to carry that one down all the way. On the run. Throw in off the near side. Triz Chavez battling. Offside was the Cougar player. Chavez was the last line of defense, and Adriana Rodriguez was a step behind her. 5 minutes to go in this first half by my unofficial tally. Plainswomen still in front on a 32nd minute Allie Marling goal off a corner. Off the offside, boot out to the midfield stripe, possessed by WNCC. Rodriguez works to her right. Slow rolling cross in. I mean, that technically goes as a shot on, but there wasn't a lot of mustard on that one. Goal kick for Flores out to the midfield stripe. It's been interesting to watch the battle between Flores and Godfrey this year after seeing what Godfrey did last year for the Plainswomen. Flores has showcased a lot of really good work, comes up with her 5th save on a big boot by Tanner Nelson from 25 yards out. All spun far side off the goal kick, and the Cougars will be forced to play it back into their defensive zone. To fully possess it, Emmanuel de Souza punches through, then gets it back far side, dribbling down to the right of the goalkeeper, Flores, as she works toward the 18, puts it across to Shelforesti. Down onto the far corner for Rodriguez. Rodriguez pushes back out Emmanuel D'Souza. Marseille Edwards marking her. Back off, and then Marling will clear it back out to the center stripe. Ball bangs high off the ground. Val Chavez can't control it. Cougars pick it up, and Schneidel stepping in. Schneidel fires it short in, and a good step up defensively by Rascon Braun to take it off the foot of Marion Russell. Russell doing the work, gets it back. Works toward the right side of the 18, tries to cross in. Ball knocked down by Trish Chavez, who clears it back out 25 yards out. Ball knocked down by Santos. Marseille Edwards marking on her, fired up and in. Big roll far side, and Marling got beat to a spot, and the easy knock in for the WNCC Cougars. Give the goal to Adriana Rodriguez. They equalize in minute number 42. Adriana Rodriguez with the goal, assisted by Julia Santos. So Plainswomen have been equalized. Just minutes remaining in this first half. In spite of outplaying WNCC for much of it. See if they can't produce something off the restart. Quickly near side, Aaliyah Dukes is found. Working down with her left on the near touchline. Off to Trish Chavez, who rips one in. Bangs high off a defender toward Dukes in the near corner, and a deep clear out for WNCC from Schneidel defensively. Subs will be brought on, or sub, for the Northeastern Plainswomen as Val Chavez takes a seat. There is subs. There's a Cougar sub coming in here as well, as Rodriguez, who just found the back of the net, takes a seat. Nia Trevino comes in for her. Deep throw for the Plainswomen as we march toward halftime in what is now a 1-1 game. Dropped into Marling. Marling can't find the possession, and Santos, who beat Marling to produce the equalizing goal, beats her again. Marling gets back, though, and mucks up the pass intended for Nia Trevino, and Hannah Flores comes up and scoops it up for the Northeastern Plainswomen. Flores, big boot back out to the center stripe. Johnson trying to calm it down, cannot. It's calmed down and possessed by the Cougars. Russell runs it far side, looking for the cross. Marling funneling her toward the touchline. Rolls it back off to Nelson, who's produced a big leg once in this game already, and rips one off the crossbar. Whew. Tanner Nelson, the sophomore from Loveland, even further out than her last shot. Probably boomed that one from 32 yards out. Plainswomen now just trying to survive with an equal tally to halftime. Goal kick comes up short of any black jerseys, and the Cougars possess it back up and in. Johnson quickly heading it out. Aaliyah Dukes fires it back toward the center stripe. Quickly repossessed. Shelstrade down into the far corner. She tries to roll it for Gosvener, and Gosvener gets it taken off her foot by the Plainswomen. Marseille Edwards bounces it back forward. Plainswomen maybe one final build before halftime as the ball spins out on the far touchline. Couple Plainswomen subs at the center stripe. Next time they're afforded that substitution in. Quick throw in. Ball goes out. Still WNCC ball. Selena Mendoza-Meeks was one of the subs in last time for NJC to provide a spark of offense maybe in the closing minutes of this first half. Throw in, knocked down by Nelson. Nelson backs it back off to the center stripe. Roll through. Savannah Thompson really keeping the pressure on, trying to create a turnover. Far side, Emmanuel D'Souza. The ball goes out on the far touchline. It'll be NJC ball, and their subs will be brought back in. returns for both of them. In the case of Trinity Moreland and Felicity Shelton, both of whom started this game. Throw in for NJC goes out off of them. Cougars trying a quick throw in to capitalize on the final minutes of this first half. Ball booted out at the center stripe. Had 2 goals in this first half and 1 stoppage on an injury. With no official clock, but we are pretty close to the end of the first half. Cougars possessing far side. Emmanuel D'Souza running past the center stripe. She rolls it down to the corner, and Marseille Edwards will run it down. Edwards turns. She's going to try and sprint through. Gives it far side to Trinity Moreland. Ball footed out by Nelson for WNCC. Quick pop up. Shelton loses her cross. Ball picked up for Western Nebraska and Shelstrade, and a Plainswoman foul, the third of the first half. Nelson, 30 yards out. She has the range. She's hit the crossbar from 32 and put it square on Flores. She puts another one up and pings it off the post. WNCC gets it on the right post and rips it into the netting. Flores jumped to stop that ball from going in upper right corner. It banged the post and got free. 2 Cougars there, and they couldn't put it on frame. We'll go to halftime, 1-1. Plainswomen need the break. We'll be back in 15 on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. It's been a pretty even contest so far, 1-1 as we come back for half number 2 between the Northeastern Plainsmen and the WNCC Cougars. I'm Ben Black. Our second half brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan. Borrow your money and do your banking with people you know and people who know you. Several locations across the area, equitable-savings.com. 11 shots, 6 on goal, 1 in for the Northeastern Plainsmen. 10 shots, 6 on goal, 1 in for the WNCC Cougars. As we head to the second half, Plainsmen will be going from right to left. Their goal came in minute number 32 from Allie Marling, assisted by Val Chavez. WNCC will be going from right to left, and they'll have the first touch on the ball, their goal, from Adriana Rodriguez, assisted by Julia Santos in minute number 40. Cougars starting 11 on the pitch as the same as their starting 11 for the game. Plainsmen have not, I don't believe, made any changes either as we begin half number 2. One change. Valerie Chavez is out there. Ball booted in from the far side, and Hannah Flores comes up with a save, her 6th of the contest on the long serve in from Marion Russell. Boot out toward the center stripe. Valerie Chavez will head it up, and she's knocked down. That's the first foul of the game for WNCC. Plainsmen whistled for 3 fouls in half number 1, so that's really the only difference in this game was the more physical nature of the play for the Northeastern Plainsmen. And Moreno Pacheco will take the kick for the Plainsmen 40 yards off the end line on the near third of the field. Carla Moreno Pacheco has put 2 shots up, 1 on. Moreno Pacheco directing the traffic. The sophomore from Mexico spins it toward the top of the 18. Cougar defense heads it down, but the Plainsmen immediately repossess it. Moreno Pacheco threads it to the near side. Cleared out by the Cougars as there was a great angle up the near side from Val Chavez. Throw in. Chavez gives it back to Aaliyah Dukes. Cougars take it and clear it out toward the center stripe. Marseille Edwards rips it up into the 18. Quick calm down and a turn foot to the near side from Savannah Thompson. Run down by Val Chavez. She tries to cross it. It is blocked on the cross by Julia Santos. Cougars will take it up, and Nia Trevino will run through everybody and work it back toward the middle. Through ball doesn't, and Roscoe Braun knocks it down for the Northeastern Junior College Plainsmen. Plainsmen try and create the pressure, and the defense possesses immediately, but then Aisha Lashley, way wide of her intended target on the near line, leads to a Plainsman throw. Val Chavez was offside on the throw, so it'll give the ball back to Western Nebraska Community College. NJC and WNCC have had a lot of great games in their history, just like the men's side, the women's side has as well. A lot of close ones, a lot of tight ones. The one that sticks out in my brain back in October of 2018, a 1-1 draw back when we played overtime. We played double overtime draw in the snow. NJC found a late second half goal to equalize and be able to create that 1 point. You don't want one today out of this 1-1 game. So the Cougars run it through the middle of the pitch, and Julia Santos will try and create some offense. Plainsmen sitting at 6 points in the regional standings, 3 games in. This game and 2 more at home. They'll have Lamar at home on the 26th and Western Wyoming. Based on history, as the Cougars will nearly lose the ball out on the near side. Val Chavez will work it down on the end line, and she tries to stop it and is whistled for the foul. But based on history, you would like to think that if you're NJC, you'll take at least 3 more at home after today. They've dominated Lamar in the Lopes short history when they played here in Sterling. Western Wyoming's a tough one, but if you could find 6 points or even 7 getting a draw next weekend, put yourself at 13 points, meaning you just have to go on the road in your final 4 games and come up with 3 or 4 I mean, if you're at 13, which definitely gets you in, 17 definitely is a top 4 in a hosting position in the opening round. You're in a great spot if you're NJC. So this final 40, as we're about 5 minutes into the second half, is going to be very imperative to what this Plainsman team can do. Moreno Pacheco whistled for the foul, I believe, as she shoved Candela Martin down to the pitch, fighting for a loose ball. Martin comes up from the pitch, bleeding from the mouth. Oh, she's not. The official took a look at her, so there was no foul there. Whistle blown because Martin was down. Wanted to make sure she wasn't bleeding or injured. Ball played back on Westniger, the goalkeeper. Plainsman going with Flores in the pipes to start the second half. Marseille Edwards takes the ball away, nutmegs the defender, but then can't quite get it through to Val Chavez. Chavez keeping hard work on, and the ball will go out off of her. We've seen Coach Burton make the change of goalkeepers in the second half, and it would not surprise me if we don't see Ashlyn Godfrey come in here in about 10-15 minutes for NJC if this remains a 1-1 game. Go with the sophomore experience to see if you can't find that, and she's definitely more aggressive from the offensive nature as a goalkeeper as well. Ball taken away on a work through. Felicity Shelton to Aaliyah Dukes. Dukes hits a high cross. It comes up short of the target, bounces off a defender foot. Moreno Pacheco knocks it down. Her shot in, rockets up high, bouncing deep. Val Chavez keeping pressure on Aisha Lashley. Lashley loses it out on the near touchline, so it's Plainsman ball on a very deep throw. Aaliyah Dukes tossing it in. Ball crossed over. In the 52nd minute, taken away for the Cougars. Santos loses it. Dukes found by the player that took it away, Addison Johnson. They'll play it back, and Trish Chavez trying to aggressively push it forward. Johnson shoulders it down, but onto the foot of a Cougar. Trinity Moreland continuing with pressure on the far side, and she gets beat. A turn and a sprint for the WNCC Cougars up the far touchline. Nice help across defense from Trish Chavez to take it off the foot of the goal scorer, Adriana Rodriguez, and then she boots it forward, and two hands to the back of the Cougar player for Savannah Thompson will lead to the fifth foul of the game. You create some inadvertent contact there, that's fine, and speak of her. I said the next probably 10 minutes we would see a changing goalkeeper, and Ashlyn Godfrey is standing at the center stripe. Next time the Plainsmen are afforded a sub, they will change goalkeepers. Boot up high. Far side. And a whistle, foul on NJC. That's their sixth foul of the game. Cougars quick restart, trying to push it forward, but too far for Tanner Nelson to run down. Cougars take it off the foot of the defense. The ball rolls in, but it's quickly quelled by Ruscon Braun. She boots it out. Plainsmen pick it up. Johnson rolling it short of Aaliyah Dukes. Good recovery by the sophomore to try and come back, but it's pressed off of her by Emmanuel D'Souza. She tries to loft to the far corner. Offside on the play was Tanner Nelson. So the Plainsmen put the boot into it out of the back end. See if they can't tip things their direction. Ball ripped up the line and out of bounds at the center stripe, and Ashlyn Godfrey, the sophomore from Oregon, will come in. We want to give a shout out to her mom, Corinne, who's watching back home in Oregon, unable to be here today, but a close family member said we needed to give her a shout-out, so why not be able to do that as well? Ashlyn back in, and I talked about this when NJC won last Saturday against Otero. The Plainswomen have her in because she's got a bigger leg out of that back end. Of course, she was a top 5 goalkeeper in saves in the nation last year, but she spent some time as a defender as well. We had an offside near the center stripe on WNCC, so it'll be Plainswoman ball right near the midfield line. So she has the opportunity to be involved differently than Flores. Not that Flores was bad. She's made 6 saves in this game. But you want that sophomore presence, the bigger leg out of the back end to try and tip the field in a 1-1 game with 34 minutes. Plainswomen lose possession of the ball to the very aggressive Tanner Nelson, who keeps her dribble in, long boot in, and Godfrey gobbles it up. That might be the closest Tanner Nelson's taken a shot this afternoon, just 25 yards out. Godfrey trying to put it to the near side, sailed it over the head of Aaliyah Dukes. Everybody brings a different skill set to this team, and Coach Burton has done a fine job this year for the Northeastern Plainswomen of being able to find that right combination at the right time. 2-2 on the year for the Plainswomen. Plainsmen are 2-4-2 after the 1-1 draw earlier today. We have a 1-1 score right now, but I get the feeling this one's not going to finish there. Both these teams are really keeping at it. We're not just playing possessive football right now. Ball goes out off of WNCC on the near side, so it'll be Plainswoman ball. Header up on the near side and out. 55th minute in this second half, about 10 minutes in. Plainswomen looking for something here. Ball booted forward. Calmed down by Moreno Pacheco. Doubled defensively. She still works from that double. Gets yanked to the pitch by WNCC. The foul happened much earlier than it was actually called. Emmanuel D'Souza was all on the hip of Moreno Pacheco and didn't get the whistle until Moreno Pacheco ultimately went down, but Cougars had a hold of her arm and were not letting her get free. The official was right on top of it and saw it. Moreno Pacheco puts the boot into it. It spins to the right of the goal, bouncing toward the end line, and a funnel out ushered by Lashley to lead to a goal kick, but no, she inadvertently touched it as it took a funky hop, and NJC will have their 7th corner of the game. Out of the near side, quick started up. Moreno Pacheco picks it up, left, boots it up, bending toward the crossbar and getting up to pull it in as Weisniger. So the Plainswomen first shot of the second half turns on. Weisniger, her 6th save of the game. 7th shot on for the Plainswomen. Quick boot up, but the Plainswomen are going to keep the foot on the gas. Dribble away. Moreno Pacheco turns and puts it off to Martine. Booted out and a chest down. Ruscon Braun to Moreno Pacheco. Through ball to the near side. Comes up wide of Aaliyah Dukes. Tries to keep the pressure on, but the ball skips out right near the center stripe. And Marseille Edwards will put a launch up. All chested down. Footed around. Down onto the near side for the Northeastern Plainswoman comes Moreno Pacheco. Moreno Pacheco serves it across and in. Ball booted up high. Spun around on the near side. The ball again goes out off of WNCC. Subs at the line, or sub at the line. It'll be a Plainswoman sub as Val Chavez takes a seat. Plainswomen bring Gisela Roscoe, the freshman from Lakewood, in. So Roscoe will be in as a defender. This moves Marseille Edwards to that offensive position. She's been that right back that has gotten involved in the offense, and now she gets to be a winger offensively with 30 minutes left in the game. 1-1 between NJC and WNCC. Dribbling up the far side, Cougars take it away with Schneidel. She drives down toward the far corner. Ball crossed over. Ball bounces off a Plainswoman and then footed out by Roscoe Braun on the far side. Plainswoman talking with the coaching staff prior to the game, knowing what you need to get in your home games. The top 4 spot in this region the last couple of years has been 5 wins, 2 draws, 17 points for sure. Might be able to get it at 16, but just to be sure, that's the kind of points you want to get. Plainswoman take the ball away on the throw, try to run with it, header forward. Aaliyah Dukes trying to knock it down. The ball hopped up, and she's tagged for a handball, shaking her head in disbelief on that call, but makes sense. And how about the long range of Tanner Nelson coming back into play here again for WNCC. She's put one off the crossbar from this distance and puts this one in where Godfrey's able to gobble it up. And to take a little something off it, that's 5 shots, 3 on for Tanner Nelson this afternoon. Boot out to the midfield stripe. Plainswoman pick it up, launched forward, header up, running near side, taking it down toward the goal is Marseille Edwards. Edwards turns, fires it up, and bangs it off the right crossbar. Marseille Edwards, who got the game winner last Saturday in much similar fashion, creating an opportunity here once again to drive it in, and banged it off the crossbar and couldn't find the goal. But a beautiful take once again for Marseille Edwards when she's moved down to that defender role and into the offensive role. Marseille, she does some great things. Aaliyah Dukes off the goal kick, takes it away near side, keeping on her feet as she works down into the corner. Ball footed out. Throw in for the Plainswoman off the near side, headed forward for the Plainswoman by Gisela Roscoe. Headers taken by WNCC. Duke's turn. She fires it across. Ball picked up near the top of the 18. Have to be a run out far side for Trinity Moreland. All gobbled up, working across, shot up, in, and swallowed up. Felicity Shelton putting one on frame. So the Plainswoman starting to push their offense. 63rd minute in this second half. The Plainswoman and the Cougars remain tied at 1. WNCC whistled for their third foul since halftime. This will be a chance for the Northeastern Plainswoman to try and break the 1-1 deadlock as they will now call on Trish Chavez to set the ball up. Triz. She'll put the boot into it to the left of the goal. Following the foul, 28 yards out. She fires it up. It's up and into the back of the net. Trish Chavez with the kick to bang it in, and NJC has the 2-1 advantage in minute number 66. Triz comes forward off the kick following the third Cougar penalty, and NJC has a 2-1 advantage. The Plainswomen capitalizing offensively on an opportunity. Once again on this exciting afternoon, and back in front they come. Quick restart is taken away for NJC. Go-ahead goal by Trish Chavez in minute number 66, and now looking for more of the Plainsmen. The ball gets free. Marseille Edwards giving chase down on the near side. Edwards keeps it in bounds while battling with Aisha Lashley. She gets it up. Ball knocked up, and Aaliyah Dukes gets a foot on it as she's trying to chase it down. Weisninger comes back and swallows it up. Goal kick taken away out on the near side, and Moreno Pacheco with the ball. Moreno Pacheco puts it down to Aaliyah Dukes. Her crossing service is picked up and cleared out. Orozco spins it in, and it bounces in. Marseille Edwards working to her right, trying to dislodge it free around Aisha Lashley. Ball goes out for a very deep NJC throw. Plainsmen lead 2-1. The second of our NJC triple header on this Saturday afternoon. We cap it off with a top 5 NJCAA volleyball matchup tonight at 7:30 between NJC and Barton. Johnson tried to float it to the near corner, got a little too much underneath it. The Plainsmen will have to try and force more possession their direction. Throw in. Santos with a quick run up the near side. Santos crossing it over far side. Godfrey over, gets in front of it. Ball, she got a piece of it. Loose onto the Cougars, and the defense is able to thwart that one. Godfrey took a chance. Got out and got a piece of it on the take on the run forward, and was able to loosen it up and give herself the opportunity. Ball goes out on the near side. Throw in. Dropped in. Santos booting it toward that high right corner and saved it, or fired it high of the goal. Couple Cougar subs coming in for the changeover here. Plainsmen now lead 2-1 thanks to a 66-minute goal from Trish Chavez. Chavez stepping out of that defensive spot and getting the big range on her leg. Goal kick out. Banged off a body. Russell rips one high of the goal for Western Nebraska, and Ashlyn Godfrey will look to do it once again. Big leg kept on the ground as NJC with the 2-1 advantage, just trying to possess the ball. Ball rolls out deep in the near corner. It's a Cougar throw to be taken by Emmanuel De Souza. Emmanuel De Souza's toss in. Battle for the ball, picked up by Julia Santos. Santos working toward the semicircle, taken off her foot and chipped forward. Numbers up as Moreno Pacheco running forward. She has one to each of her side. Moreno Pacheco in the middle. Dribbles past a defender, picking up the near side. Ball down to Marseille Edwards, back into the near corner. Moreno Pacheco spinning and turning. Doesn't have the service across. Tries to find the end line and does. And the ball goes out off of the Cougar defense thanks to some hard work. So it's a corner for the Northeastern Plainsmen. Sub will be afforded on for NJC. Minute number 70 by my unofficial tally. About 20 minutes remaining in this Region 9 affair. And Trish Chavez will be the one taking the corner off the near side. Chavez puts the boot, sailing in, off a body. And over everybody's head, ultimately, and out on the end line. So the Plainsmen look to see if they can calm this one down a tick. Cougars thrive on that feverish play. Especially for a team that is down their leading scorer, I believe, and captain due to a card. Plainsmen bring in the first half goal scorer. Up 2-1. We'll see Allie Marling back on the pitch. Throw in, booted high toward the center stripe. Take a bounce around, and the Plainsmen try to calm it down quickly. She'll strut it. Takes it off the Plainsman foot. Gosvener runs it down on the near side. Gosvener in the corner. And a foul whistled on WNCC, their fourth of the second half. They went without a foul called against them in half number one. Boot off the foul, comes up the near side and calmed down. Moreno Pacheco floats it forward to Marseille Edwards down in the near corner. Marseille dribbling and then pulling back up to the near side, whips it across, comes up shy of Moreno Pacheco as Chavez takes it away. Forward to Santos, then onto the foot of Trevino. Moreno Pacheco comes and takes it away, and she's knocked down. Fifth foul of the second half. So the Plainsmen will get the kick near midfield. And Trish Chavez will be taking the shot much further out than what she was taking earlier. Chavez rips it up the middle. Ball knocked up high. Turn in the corner. Up the near side from Moreno Pacheco. Ball run down into the far corner. Marling with it. And then it goes out on the far line off of WNCC. So the Plainsmen with a throw, and then they can't possess the throw. So the Cougars have the throw. The Plainsmen will take it away. 40 yards off the end line. Moreno Pacheco gives it up, rolls near side to Aaliyah Dukes, who has Marseille Edwards to her right. Edwards out of the near side. She turns and a low line cross, bangs off a defender down to the near corner and cleared out on the near touch line by WNCC. 72nd minute by my unofficial tally, about 18 to go in this game. Plainsmen lead WNCC 2-1. Aaliyah Dukes with the left runs across short of her intended target and cleared out by Western Nebraska. Trish Chavez with the go-ahead goal for the Plainsmen in minute number 66. Ball gobbled up by Weisninger, and she boots it back out to the midfield stripe. Dislodged away by WNCC after the Plainsmen take it. Santos rolls it up far side. Quick run down the far side from Rodriguez, who has the Cougar goal. She dribbles past the defender, hits a cross. It sails over everybody's head and was too high for a header off the near side from the hot pursuing Julia Santos. Ball does go out off of the shot, so it's a deep Plainsman throw, and they can't possess out of that deep corner for long enough, and the ball rolls on the near touch line. So the Cougars tilting the pitch in the final third of this second half. Rolled out, and Val Chavez takes the ball away near the midfield stripe. She gives it up to Marseille Edwards, who has an angle up the near side. Nutmegs the defender who comes across in Romero Molina. Romero Molina can't quite take it away. She loses possession out on the sideline, and Aaliyah Dukes will have the throw. Dukes tosses it in. Val Chavez gives it back to Dukes, who hits a low-line cross that doesn't bend the way she wanted, and it's scooped up by Weisniger. Dukes has put in a lot of hard work. I know Trish Chavez has the go-ahead right now, but Dukes has been doing a lot of work out of that midfield position today for NJC. Through ball, rolls forward, back is Trish Chavez to clear it out near side. So it was just her and the hot pursuing Audrey Gosvener that were battling in front of Ashlyn Godfrey between the pipes. Cougars making a change as Gosvener exits. Back in comes Tanner Nelson. 2-1 NJC, looking for their third win in regional play after going 2-0 last weekend but losing 4-0 yesterday. And to Nelson, who has quite the range. She's being defended quite tightly, and ball goes out off the Plainswoman. Quick in to Santos. Santos works across. Good denial across the top, force an extra pass over to the far side, and Russell Godfrey scoops it up for her fourth save. She's only been in this game about 20 minutes, and she's seen a lot on. Boots it out to the center stripe, calmed down for the Plainswoman. Threaded through. Ball popped up to the near side by Val Chavez. She has Edwards to her right. Marseille working down to the corner. Short cross skitters in, and it's scooped up by Weisniger without much consternation. We saw the Plains men get an equalizer in the final 60 seconds of the game to pull off a 1-1 draw earlier today. WNCC trying to find a later equalizer in this second half. With about 13 minutes remaining, it's 2-1 NJC. Plainswomen are keeping their foot on the gas, trying to keep the ball in their offensive end. Ball chipped up to the near side. Nia Trevino puts it forward. Good bit of defense by Ruscon Braun to take it away from Shell Strati. And then she gives it up. Plainswomen battle to get it back, and Aaliyah Dukes, the through ball down to the far side. Dukes kept off the ball by WNCC's defense of Camila Emmanuel de Sousa. Plainswomen still going to keep themselves on the sideline. They've been exceptional on that outer third defense this season. Ball booted forward. Nelson trying to run underneath it. It's a little too far for her to get it. And Marseille Edwards, knowing that she didn't have a very good angle if she possessed that, to keep it off the ball of the foot of Nelson. Boots it out, but a quick throw-in comes for the Cougars and Nia Trevino. She backs it up. Nelson out toward Santos, who lofts it right at the goal with no save necessary. So the Plainswomen making a change here as Selena Mendoza Meeks will come in. She came in late in the first half as a forward. She will be replacing Gisela Orozco. WNCC gets Cantella Martin in for Nia Trevino. So the Plainswomen will pull Marseille Edwards out of that forward position. This is the beginning of the defense process for the Northeastern Plainswomen. Let Marseille go back as a defender, and Aaliyah Dukes as well, trying to protect the 2-1 lead with 10 minutes remaining or so in this Region 9 contest. Looking for the third win are the Plainswomen, and bounce back after a 4-0 yesterday. When I talked with the coaching staff, they said, we can't really fault our effort yesterday. Laramie County just played a better game than we did. That's why the result was 4-0. Dribble down in the corner for WNCC, trying to work in. A soft roller goes out on the end line, so it'll be a goal kick for Ashlyn Godfrey. You know what L-Trip is and what they've been inside this region the last decade plus. You know what Casper is, what they've been inside this region. You know what next Saturday at 11 a.m. Western Wyoming is and what they've been inside this region. We'll be here on 94.5 The Ranch, but come on out here 11 a.m. next Saturday to see these Plainswomen play Western Wyoming. It's looking like it'll be a top 3 affair in the regional standings. We'll see once the results come in. We have a new podcast coming out on Spotify on Wednesday. Dukes takes the throwaway battle on the near side, and Aaliyah Dukes through 2 Cougar defenders back to Moreno Pacheco. But Wednesday, a new Inside Northeastern will feature this Plainswomen soccer team and what they've done in region play so far. Dukes down on the near side. She turns and stops past the defender, tries to get to the spot. Coming over to help is Mendoza Meeks, and the ball goes out off the end line off of her. Had the exciting game winner in the final 10 minutes last weekend against Otero after the 10-0 win against Trinidad. Plainswomen now up 2-0 here with less than 10 remaining in the second half. Cougars staying on the ground, and great immediate pressure from Mendoza Meek. She takes the ball away and forces it out off of WNCC's Aisha Lashley. Leah Dukes look to toss it in. Dukes. Too wide comes the return pass from Shelton, and it's a low WNCC throw. Plainswomen are double marking now on Tanner Nelson with 2 defenders assigned to her to not let her get free. And Marseille Edwards gets in the way and prevents Julia Santos from running anything past the center stripe. Ball booted back by the Plainswomen. We're beginning to reform shape defensively, but get a ball dislodged free. Moreno Pacheco works across the middle, slips it down onto the far side. Sliding attempt to take the ball away from Valerie Chavez from Weisniger. Cross ball in, lofted up and finds the back of the net. Make it 3-1 for the Northeastern Junior College Plainswomen. The Plainswomen with the brace in the contest on the big boot up from Allie Marling. Looked like maybe it was going to be offsides, but Marling puts it in by my tally in minute number 83. She has a brace today with a pair of goals. Give the assist on the play to Moreno Pacheco. And NJC look to play D and get the full 3 on this Saturday. Rudy's Tires has several locations across the area, so there's always one close by, and they can come to you if you can't get to them. Rudy'sTires.com for more information. Ball taken away off the start by the Plainswomen in the middle, just rolling possession through. Aaliyah Dukes doing some midfield work now. Dukes pushes it forward, looking down in the corner, but nothing there. Booted back, and the defense will possess it all the way back to Ashlyn Godfrey, the goalkeeper. Godfrey trying to clear it out, and Nelson just bearing down on her, forces the ball off her and down into the corner. Cross service in, Nelson goes for a header, but the ball just too high for Nelson to be able to pick it up. The Plainswomen try to roll it out of the back corner, but the throw comes in. 3-1 NJC in the closing minutes of this Region 9 game. Cougars lining the ball up after the Plainswomen's 7th foul of the game on the near side to put the boot into it. To the far side, short and Nelson goes the ball, and a foul on WNCC, jockeying for position with that ball. Give it back to the Northeastern Plainsmen. And JC scored first. Less than 10 minutes later, they were equalized. A battle through the first near 20 minutes of the second half before Trish Chavez put the Plainsmen ahead. Allie Marling, who scored in the first half, scored again just minutes ago, and with 5 remaining, NJC leads WNCC 3-1. Plainsmen out to the center stripe, and then it's just a boot roll forward by Felicity Shelton. Marling's done some great work in that forward position, but she was also the one defensively that got beat on the equalizer, so I don't think it's a shoo-in that she's the player of the game. High ball launched forward toward the left of the goal, where Weisniger will be forced to scoop it up as Aaliyah Dukes was bearing down hard. And I don't think Trish Chavez is a shoo-in for the DDC player of the game either. The coaches will make their own call, but I think they both did some great work. But Aaliyah Dukes has been great, putting some pressure on and in a defensive role. Val Chavez has been great. Morena Pacheco has done a fine job in the midfield today. After having spent much of this season as a striker, I'm seeing a lot of growth from this Plainsman soccer team. I got a lot of hope that this team could be something pretty special as we go through this season. 8th foul in the game called on NJC. Schneidel, the defender, puts the boot in following the foul and gets it forward to Santos. Onto the foot of Camilla De Sousa. Down onto the near side. The ball's rolled. Down in the corner. Battle for the ball. The Plainsmen. Hard fight for it. Goes out on the end. And after a hard collision, the players getting themselves up off that end line. To WNCC shortened corner off the foul. Header goes wide right of the goal. That's just the second, if you will, corner. That wasn't a corner, but shortened up on that end line from where that foul happened. Only the second time today NJC's had to defend that tough angle. Closing minutes here on 94.5 The Ranch, KCGC Marino. Volleyball starting tonight at 7:30 against number 3 Barton to wrap up the Sheila Worley tournament. Plainsmen are already 3-0 this weekend. Haven't looked at volleyball results today. My focus until the final whistle was going to be on soccer today, and then we'll figure all that out. So tune in for the results as Nelson rips one in. Misses the target. Marseille Edwards giving chase down to the corner. And it will lead to another Northeastern goal kick. My unofficial tally, 14 shots for the Northeastern Plainsmen, 10 of them on goal. WNCC, 17 shots, 11 of them on goals. They've had an exceptional second half. Ashlyn Godfrey with 4 saves, no goals allowed. Hannah Flores with 6 saves, the 1 goal allowed. As the minutes tick off, NJC looking to work themselves to 3-1 in Region 9 play. They just dribble away through the midfield, and WNCC down 3-1 is kind of back to tick off on the pressure. Marling dribbles down in the corner. She hits a crosser in, knocked down by the defense. Booted up the line for WNCC as they try and find one final push. They're not going to be unhappy coming away with points in one of their games on this weekend trip. But having at least been equal through 2/3 of this game, it's a little bit disappointing for the Cougars. You didn't at least get one here this afternoon in Sterling. Credit NJC as Aaliyah Dukes dribbles back through the middle of the pitch with the final minutes ticking off the clock. Down in the far side, a battle won by WNCC as Russell runs through. She ends up on the pitch. A foul whistled on NJC. That's the 10th in the game. No card, though, for the Northeastern Plainswomen today. They've been carded their last 2 games in regional play. The big leg of Nelson puts the boot into it, hits it in toward the 18 off of Marling, who was trying to get into defensive position, and Aaliyah Duke scoops it out into the near corner. 3-1 NJC. Tossed in near side. Nelson rips one up and sails it high over the goal once again, and that's the final whistle. The Northeastern Plainswomen got the go-ahead goal in minute number 66 from Trish Chavez and a brace from Allie Marling. The Plainswomen beat WNCC 3-1, and they're 3-1 on the season. We'll talk to you for soccer next Saturday as the Plainswomen take on Western Wyoming at 11 a.m. and volleyball tonight. Plainswomen against Barton. Plainsmen, 1-1 draw. Plainswomen, 3-1 win. This is the Eastern Plains Sports Network.